Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Safety glasses off, motherfuckers.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
Brian Cox.
Sorry, am I wasting your time?
Yeah.
Sabine Hassenfelder. You probably recognize at least some of the names that I just mentioned. But let me ask you this. Do you actually know them for the right reasons? Sure, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Cox, Sabine Hassenfelder, they are all scientists. But have you ever thought about how strange it is that it is they the ones presenting all this science and complex concepts to us? These might not even be making sense to you right now. But bear with me. Tell me honestly, do you know who Alan Guth is? Or James Dewey Watson? No? Didn't think so. But don't worry, you're not alone. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to know them to be a science enthusiast. So let's face it, you probably have never seen them in a TikTok with the Subway Surfers gameplay playing in the background.
We asked 100 married women, if you could have a second husband for only one purpose, what would it be? Something like 70% of them said just for sex.
Whoa, damn.
A second husband for only one purpose.
Or on a YouTube video titled "The End of the World is Near" with a planet exploding in the back. So if you don't see them, why do we see people like Bill Nye the Science Guy on TikToks and on YouTube, on TV shows, or Neil deGrasse Tyson with a podcast and a bunch of random YouTube videos saying that the end of the world is happening tomorrow, or Sabine Hassenfelder that literally uploads like 1,000 videos in a day? No, I actually can't keep up with that. It's actually insane. Low-key, I love it. Well, they all have something in common. And no, it is not that they are all scientists. They are influencers. But why? There are many answers to this question, but let's start with the most controversial one: making money off of selling scientific ideas. It is not a secret that having a big audience on social media means big money, whether from ad revenue, sponsorships, book sales, speaking engagements, even OnlyFans, but I don't think I would want to pay Neil deGrasse Tyson's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And let's be real here. Many scientists who become influencers do it for the money. Even people that are not scientists do it for the money. Would I do the same? Absolutely. Do I know as much as them? Definitely not. But let's take a closer look at Sabine Hassenfelder's perspective. The following clip is from Sabine's YouTube channel, where she talks about her experience with academia and research. Contrary to what people think, scientists are not usually discovering things such as gravity, black holes, or quantum mechanics every day. In reality, and in general, most scientists work in government-funded research projects. And here's where things get spicy. You might be wondering right now, wait, are my tax dollars funding studies of shrimps running on treadmills? Yep. They are. In fact, over $600,000 were spent by the National Science Foundation to make shrimps hit the gym. I know, with that much money, there are so many possibilities, like buying a house or buying 1,538 Epson EcoTank ET2850. Of course, not all research is about shrimp fitness. About 99.99999% of research projects funded by governments are directed for the greater good of a society. At the end of the day, remember, research exists because there is a public interest in discovering new things that could benefit society. But here's where Sabine's case is unique. She started noticing a disturbing shift in fundings coming from governments, as they started going towards whatever sounded exciting at the time, rather than what was actually useful. Her organization started pumping out a bunch of scientific papers to secure more grants. Even when the research had little real value, it wasn't about science anymore. It was about making money. It became a scientific paper factory, which is not good for the public. nor for the scientists involved. Let's hear what Sabine had to say about this.
And just as most of academic research that your taxes pay for is almost certainly bullshit. The real problem I had, I think, is that I was bad at lying to myself. Of course, I tried to tell myself, and anyone who was willing to listen, that at least unofficially on the side, I do the research that I thought was worth my time, but that I couldn't get money for because it was too far off the mainstream. But that research never got done because I had to do the other stuff that I actually got paid for. Then COVID came, and it reminded me how short life really is. I pivoted, applied for funding on the research that I wanted to do, that I was rather afraid wouldn't get funded. It didn't get funded. And so here we are on YouTube, where I talk about why I love science and hate it at the same time.
On the other hand, Brian Cox believes that science should be available to everyone. In a recent podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson, he argued that science shouldn't be limited to the intellectual elite. It should be shared with society as a whole. His reasoning: if people understand why billions of dollars of taxpayer money are being spent on huge projects such as the Large Hadron Collider, they will appreciate science even more. Because yes, if you are into science, you might already know about the $20 billion donut-shaped tunnel under France. But to most people, not really. The Large Hadron Collider smashes particles together, helping confirm theories that explain how our existence is even possible. Here's Brian's take.
I can't remember when it was now, but there was one of those regular funding crises, as you'll know from here in the US, when government support, in particular for research, dipped. And so I got involved in trying to fight that. And we realized, I mean, it's kind of obvious, I suppose, but we realized that one of the reasons, talking to government, that they had cut the research budget was that they didn't think anyone cared. So they thought it was a simple thing to
democracy.
do. You could just,
right.
And so as a community, we were we learned again. We've learned it over the years, but we learned again that popular support for what we do is important. And where does the support come from? It comes from understanding. One of them, of course, is just purely democratizing knowledge. We taxpayers fund, at least in part, what we do. And therefore, they have a right to know. So there's that level.
Then we have Bill Nye, the science guy. A name that probably everyone knows, except me. Because fun fact, I didn't know him until last year. I grew up in a country called El Salvador, so I didn't really know much English back then. Doing my research, I noticed that apparently he had a program called Bill Nye, the Science Guy, and he was basically aimed for kids to learn science and to get them started with this passion for science. I really wish we had a program like that in Spanish. Maybe I'm going to start one. Anyways, Bill Nye's journey to becoming a science communicator is fascinating. He was influenced by amazing teachers during school. He became a mechanical engineer and worked at Boeing. He volunteered at the Pacific Science Center. As a science explainer, he wrote jokes for a Seattle comedy show while working in advanced navigation systems for Boeing. Then one fateful day, someone suggested, why don't you do that science stuff that you're always talking about? Like, I don't know, you could be called Bill Nye, the Science Guy. And the rest is history. Check out how he tells the story.
That's one thing. And then the other thing, when you're in love, you want to tell the world. And I love science. So that's why I tried to get, we had very compelling research in the 1990s that 10 years old is about as old as you can be to get the so-called lifelong passion for science. And so that's why we did the show for people who are 10 years old or so.
Finally, we have Neil deGrasse Tyson, an absolute celebrity, and personally my favorite. His goal is to inspire people with science, just like Carl Sagan did with Cosmos. But Tyson didn't just stop at admiration. He rebooted Cosmos for a new generation. And I'm not gonna lie, I literally tear up every time I watch an episode. The way he presents the beauty of our universe and the laws of physics that governs it, it's just incredible. Just take a look at how he introduces Cosmos.
Here's an interesting fact. My is huge. It's about the size of a Greyhound bus.
Interesting.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Congratulations.
I don't mean to brag or anything, but
Stop doing this, dude. It's a podcast.
Come
What are you
on,
doing?
this is bad radio.
no.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a big dick.
Come on, man. That's silly.
Size means nothing.
Wait. Pause. My dick jiggles.
What the heck? He's a weird fucking guy.
He's crazy.
Kid.
What are we doing?
Suck it, Neil deGrasse. You big fat queef.
You kook.
What does that even mean?
I hate you guys, dude.
You son of a bitch.
Fuck off. This is nonsense.
No.
Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Suck on you suck.
You're a dwarf.
What does that mean?
You're not tall.
What
Okay?
the f?
I didn't know you'd be like this.
You're 4'5".
Like, who the fuck are you? Like,
You look like a boy. You have wimp muscles.
Ooh, now we're talking.
At the end of the day, science communicators do make money from their content. And honestly, they should. They put time, effort, and expertise into educating us. And that serves compensation. More importantly, their work inspires new generations of scientists, which keeps the cycle of discovery alive. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for coming videos that I have prepared for you guys. See you next time.